And that all leads us to all the brilliant things. And because of the pandemic, you were able to take your time, go through the themes, the lyrics with a fine-tooth comb, really take your time and be patient. And in turn, in your words, one of the most complete lyrical and poetic albums you've ever done. So at least one good thing has come from isolation and overcoming hurdle after hurdle in 2020.
Yeah, I've never taken this long to make an album. Part of it was by choice. Part of it was I didn't have a choice, from from my voice and the surgery I had, which put me down a couple months to, actually I had a back injury that nobody knew about. I had like kind of pulled my back, and like I remember writing and recording on meds. Like my back was gone. You know what I mean? Like you talk about pain, like there's nothing in the world like back pain. You know what I mean? Like I was literally working on the album, excruciating pain. Like it was hard to stand up in the booth, but I had a self-inflicted deadline. I had a self-imposed deadline, and I was like, I got to make this deadline. Granted, that deadline came and went 100 times, because of the Rona and my voice and whatever. But I had this deadline in my mind, and yeah, I was like leaning on the wall in the booth while I was rhyming. Like I couldn't stand up, but I had to do it. And I was writing through the pain, and I was on meds and all that when I was writing. But it was crazy. So, I say all that to say it's never taken me this long to make an album. And it's dope, I just was able to sit there and write and record something and read it and listen to it back 100 times, and then go in and maybe tweak one line and be like, I want to change this one line. I'm coming back tomorrow to the studio and I'm going to change this one line, like stuff like that, So it was dope. It's a really, really incredible album. I'm super excited about it. It is jam-packed. I told myself I wasn't going to jam-pack it this much, and I absolutely did the opposite. It is jam-packed as far as lines. I mean, there's records on there with no hooks. It's just rhymes and lines and lines and lines, and just like, yo, hold up. Like it's a whole lot of that. Like, wait, bring that back. It's tons of that, like more than ever before. So it's dope and it's deep. Everything has this meaning to it, and the whole thing is a story, and it's really special.
I remember first hearing about it in 2019, so it's been a while in the making. And in fact, it kind of reminds me the anticipation, the wait, how it builds excitement. Like, remember in high school for you, how magical it was when Hard Knock Life Volume 2 or Black Star or Aquemini came out. And yeah, because now it's just New Music Fridays, and my kids just get a whole dump of music on Fridays, and then they forget about it a week later. But I remember going to the record store, and there'd be albums like UGK's Riding Dirty or Goody Mob, and those albums were announced 6 months ahead of time. You marked your calendar, you rode your bike to the shop, you stood in line, you ran home frantically, you took the shrink wrap off, you popped the tape in your deck. I think if you're a Skyzoo fan, it's like I'm sure you get barraged on social media. When's it coming out?
Yeah.
But I love the anticipation, man. I love that wait. It builds something.
There was times back in the day in school where you had all this anticipation for an album, and somebody might let you down. You might get the joint and be like, yo, we've been waiting for this for months. And, Clue was teasing us with records, and dag, man, Clue had all the best records because the other records is weak. You know what I mean? Like those was, sometimes you had those situations, and then sometimes you had a record where it came out and you ran to the store and got it, and it just blew you away, and it was everything you wanted and then some. I mean, I remember, what was that, summer 97, I was in summer school. It was the only time I ever went to summer school in my life. I was in summer school, and No Way Out came out, and I remember like getting out of summer school at 12 o'clock. I think I got to the record store at 12:05, and the record store was like 20 minutes away. I think I got there at 12:05. Like I was gone. I blew to the record store and got the tape, and that was it. That was all I listened to for 3 months straight. That was it. So like it's those were what made it special. And hopefully the music I'm making continues that lineage, regardless of the sound being different. It's that excitement and that drive and all that energy of like, yo, this is what I needed. I've been waiting on it. I can't stop playing it. Like that's what it's about.
Here's the greatest compliment I can afford you is an album you released 10 years ago. I believe it was The Salvation, the album that was in you since the age of 9. And yes, now, we know the story. The first albums you release towards the front of your career tend to be the best because you have 20 years to tell it. You have 20 years of experience and 20 years to figure out exactly how you want it to be. And you're in class listening to Heart Knock Volume 2. You're writing your own verses like you're on every song. You're ready, coach. Put me in. But for you, it doesn't stop there. The Celebration of Us comes out, and you go on record and say, oh, this is my best record to date. The brilliance of it all comes out. This is my best lyrical album to date, guys. You are how it's supposed to be. You get better with age. Your skill set sharpens like iron. And with each record, it's not a publicity stunt. The material just gets better and better. So I feel like if you're a true Skyzoo fan, you're spoiled. You make a conscious effort to add another solid body of work to your catalog.
Man, that's real. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And that's the goal, man. Like you said, it's not about somebody dropped the album and it was cool, but the person says, well, I still did so and so 10 years ago. That's what's carrying me. Nah, like, what I mean? It's not about that. It's about every time you go, you're supposed to strive to make it better than the last. Of course, people gonna have their favorites. There's people who favorite album is Music for My Friends or Dream Deferred or The Easy Truth or Retropolitan or In Celebration of Us or Live from the Tape Deck. And you know what? That's the beauty of it, because if it's kind of like if you look at one album, right? And like everybody's favorite song is one song, you didn't do your job. You're supposed to make it difficult for people. If you got 15 people in the room, everybody's favorite record is supposed to be a different record. Yo, my favorite record is track 3. My favorite record is track 5. Yo, my favorite record is track 12. That's when you know you got it. That's when you know you did it right. If everybody's favorite record is track 3, something happened that was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it's about the argument being there between the fans. Like, yo, yeah, I love The Easy Truth, but yo, my favorite is A Celebration of Us. Yo, man, I love Retropolitan, but my favorite is Live from the Tape. Like, that's what it's about. It's supposed to be the back and forth. And if every joint in your catalog can be argued to be the best in that catalog and the best of that year and the best from that artist, then you're doing your job. And that's what I do. And that's my goal. And I came from that, like I grew up the block from Big. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up on Ray and the Jizza and Nas and Jay and 3000 and 1995 I was 13 and that was the greatest year ever in the history of mankind was 1995. Like, I came from that, so this is what it is. It can only be this way.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, and I haven't heard the album yet, obviously, but All the Brilliant Things sounds optimistic. And with everything we've covered, with all the loss, the health issues, the pandemic, All the Brilliant Things could have easily become your Black Album or your version of the Black Album. Is there any anger on this album? Is there frustration? Or were you making a conscious effort to keep things positive?
Nah, it's yeah, you kind of in it. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely moments of, okay, so the album, the concept is out there a little bit, so I could break it down. The album is about gentrification and Black culture and the thievery of it. And it's all the brilliant things, because when you look at the way this was done, it's kind of brilliant. The way this game was played is disgusting and it's infuriating. But when you look at it, you're like, this was a brilliant scheme that these people did on us. And so that's why it's called All the Brilliant Things. Like, these are the things that made it go that way. And the album is all conceptual. It starts with the way our neighborhoods were and it ends with the way our neighborhoods are now. And it kind of takes you on this roller coaster ride. And within the gentrification, there's also the element of culture vulture and how the two go hand in hand. Something that they didn't want to now they can't get enough of, and they're trying to take from you and tell you what really is what it is and what's not what it's not, when I don't know if they have that right. And so that's what it's about. And yeah, it's a play on it where it's like this really was a brilliant sting job that people pulled off. Wow, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it comes down to.
Love it, man. Well, this is the end of the line for us. Is there anything else about the project that I didn't cover? But if there's anything that I missed that you want to promote, feel free.
Oh man, you covered it all. I've never done an interview where somebody was this tuned in with my background and my story, man.